And howdy. Welcome back to SciTrek, your sci-fi TV and a movie channel. Welcome back to Sci-Fi Sundays. How are y'all doing?
3D. Coming to cinema soon. It's like he's coming right at me.
There is not a sausage, but there's also Lord Sausage.
Sausage.
Quite wonderful.
Big
How's the week been, everybody? It's been kind of a crazy week in the world, but been all right for y'all.
All right for me. I don't really care. Britain, nothing ever exciting ever happens in Britain. We just sit here going, America. What? They passed the big, beautiful what now? The one that takes away. I tell you, if you took health insurance away for removing one Brit, we would riot. I mean, seriously, we'd be down the Houses of Parliament going. You can't touch images, but yeah. Other than that,
the bad thing is I completely forgot about that after frickin' Central Texas has just been flooding like nobody's business the last few days. There's 23, I think it's 32. It's either 23 or 32 missing kids already, and like they think that number's gonna double or triple. So that's awful.
See, we get floods in this country, and everyone's sort of like, "No, gonna have to get the wellies out." That's just insane. Very rarely anyone really dies from a flood in this country. It's happened sometimes, but not often.
There's a little boy that grew up on the end of my street that's probably a junior or senior in high school, and 50 dead so far.
Is it like flash floods? So is it like that? Because we don't get flash floods.
Yeah, this happened like in an hour. Like it wasn't raining, and an hour later it was raining, and all this stuff happened. I don't know if you want to hear it, but I do have a firsthand phone call from like a father to the son, and it's just sad as all get out. I won't after air, but whatever. It's back on the good things.
Man, it's been a crazy week.
It really has.
We lost McMahon from Charmed and thingy. We lost
Julie McMahon.
Who else did we lose this week? We lost
Michael Madsen.
Right?
Tarantino's Michael Caine.
It's just been a mad week. It always seems. My nan always used to say these things come in threes. When crazy stuff happens, it happens in threes. I saw somebody else had passed a producer or something. I can't remember his name now, but he passed away at like 50 or 62 or something as well. But Julian McMahon, when he left that Most Wanted, the FBI Most Wanted, I'm like, there's got to be a reason for that. And he just sort of said he didn't really enjoy it. He wanted to be with his family or something. And I was like, no, there's got to be a reason. He fell out with somebody or something. I assume he must have found out he had cancer.
Yeah, he got sick. That's the thing. Like, he didn't. I don't think he ever said anything to the world or anything. But obviously, folks like that, you got to respect it. But it also sucks whenever that a death like that comes out of the blue. Chadwick Boseman's obviously the large.
Yeah. Very private about it, wasn't he? Matthew, it looks like your microphone is going to go, hello, Hal. Hello, David.
You probably will.
But, yeah, it's been a sad week.
It has. Well, to put a good little note on things, y'all watch anything good this week? Anything fun?
I watched that Heads of State with Idris Elba and Thingy Man and John Cena. I love John Cena. You got the series that you love most, the second season of what's it called? John Cena, Peacemaker, coming out in the next couple of weeks as well. So I've been watching the first season.
I love Peacemaker.
Yeah, I love it. But yeah, Heads of State is excellent. Really, really good. I really enjoyed it.
It's not on Prime, is it? What's it on?
Prime?
Oh, it is on Prime. Okay.
I think so. Yeah, Prime. Yeah.
Okay. I just couldn't remember which.
I'm going to watch the Old Guard. Well, I rewatched the first one last week because I couldn't really remember what happened in it. Because I think I only watched it when it came out. I think I've watched it since. So I'm really looking forward to that. That's a proper sci-fi, isn't it? I think that's a sci-fi movie, kind of.
Yeah, it's like X-Men, but not superhero necessarily. It's like Mutant Light.
It's like Highlander.
There we go.
Oh, I said Ramirez should be a woman. And do you see who they've cast? Seriously?
I'm not a fan either. Like, I think I freaking love Russell. It's Russell Crowe.
Yeah, it is, yeah. I love Russell Crowe as well. I mean, but they're going to have to get a forklift truck to drag him into the set. He needs to lose a bit of weight, that man. He's going to be dead before he's, another 5 years. I actually genuinely worry about him. He just sweats constantly. But
I still haven't seen How to Train Your Dragon, but that couldn't have been good for any weight loss program.
But I just don't get that. He will have to lose weight for that. He will have to, or he'll look ridiculous. But an American as an Egyptian and an Englishman as a Scotsman, I see nothing to go wrong with this situation.
What?
The accents are going to be all over the freaking place. But I was disappointed.
I was hoping he'd be. The second I saw Russell Crowe, I was hoping they wouldn't say Ramirez and it'd just be like another. I never remember what they're called. Another Highlander, right? Just another one of.
Just an immortal. They're just the immortals.
Immortal. There we are.
All I now know is that this film, and I've always said this when it first got announced, it rests on who they get as the Kurgan, because he's got to be massive, and because Henry Cavill is already a big guy, so they've got to get somebody bigger than Henry Cavill. So I'm thinking that guy from the last series of Reacher, that bloody 9 foot tall freaking monster.
The bad guy that you got us to look up, right? Mm-hmm.
And the rumors keep swirling around that his name's I've got Alan Rickman in my head. It's Alan Richardson.
Richardson.
This might be the next Batman, and I don't see that at all.
He's been campaigning for it.
Well, there's rumors keep going round and round and round about it, and didn't he get dressed up in the Batsuit this last week as a bit of a joke? But didn't James Gunn like it? Oh, please don't do that.
Please. I really do like, because the other guy that's been campaigning for it for a long time is Jensen Ackles, and I don't think he'd be the 100% best choice either, but I'd prefer it over Alan Richardson, sadly.
I could see him as a bad guy. I'd like to see him as a bad guy. I could almost see him as like the Joker or something. But yeah.
Whatchamacallit?
Can you remove still nut sausage, please?
There we go.
Put it in this little sausage.
Little sausage.
I'm definitely here for eye candy, by the way, David.
What just?
I'll be bacon. I'll be bacon. Harris can be eggs.
Hey.
And then we're
we literally said still not as or Lord Sausage, whatever sausage, and I completely brain farted. What were we just talking about right before that?
Highlander?
Yes.
The ones you've seen this week. Why don't you just go with what you've seen this week? I just did a brain fart out on the video for 5 minutes. Sorry.
Well, saw 28 years later again. Every bit as good as the first time, maybe even better. Always loved Danny Boyle. It ends super Danny Boyle, like very, very UK-ish, British. It doesn't necessarily fit in zombies, but it's interesting. Jurassic World Rebirth.
Did somebody die? Then they made a cup of tea. You're saying it's very British.
Oh no! Even more
zombies.
Even more
not
so.
To worry. Stay calm. Carry on. Let's have a cup of tea. And
it feels like you just the last 3 minutes of 28 years later could be in Train Spotting.
They all get stoned?
No, but you might as well think they are.
Oh, okay.
It's a very interesting moment. Did I see the 1 minute trailer for the Odyssey? Yes, right before Jurassic World Rebirth in 40X at midnight on its opening premiere. My roommate went in hearing the best things ever about the movie and left not hating it, but really disliking it. I walked in there hearing about a bunch of bad things about Jurassic World and walked out thinking like, okay, this ain't too shabby. It wasn't my favorite thing in the world. It's probably my fourth favorite Jurassic film, but it's there.
It's probably going to be the box office hit of the summer. I'd say
Probably
making money again. It's still not making anything like the sort of money they would expect from a film like that. But I mean, was it 150 million, 180 million opening weekend?
Oh, it's doing just fine. And people, it's the type of movie, even if it is not a great movie, people are still going to go see it anyway. It's like a zombie movie, but different day. Dinosaurs in place of zombies in this kind of scenario. Jurassic SeaWorld.
I have to ask young Matthew, because we haven't spoken in a while. Did you see the Project Hail Mary trailer?
You're muted, but yes, there is.
How did you know what I said?
I can read some lips.
Yeah, is there a real trailer right now? Because I've seen so many fakes.
There is a real trailer.
It's pretty solid.
I'll get back to you in just 1 second.
I'll be back in 3 minutes.
It'll be 3 minutes. It's quite a long trailer. I thought he might. I can't believe he's not seen that. I need to start.
I'm shocked. That's his big thing for the last 2 years. That trailer was really good. I can't. After Mickey 17, which I was just ecstatic for because of Bong Joon-ho, it just didn't turn out the way we wanted it to.
Yeah, no, it was not a good film.
It had elements of. I loved Robert Pattinson's performances.
I'm not a big fan of Robert Pattinson.
Really?
Don't like him. I don't mind him in the Batman because he's wearing a mask most of the time. But even though
I don't like him in the Batman, I like him in everything else.
He should never have been cast as the Batman. But actually, I quite like that film. It's just half an hour too long. I've always said that. It needed to be edited down to make it a little bit faster paced. But other than that, I quite like the movie. I don't mind him as Batman, but I hated him as Bruce Wayne. If I met a Robert Pattinson Bruce Wayne, I would have to slap him. I would just stop being you. I hated him as Bruce Wayne, but as Batman, I thought he worked.
Oh my God, I'm killing myself because I can't remember the name. Courtney Love, right? That was Kurt Cobain's. Yeah, we need to find Robert Pattinson's Bruce Wayne and Courtney Love. Because
he was moody as fuck. I'm the world's greatest detective. Nobody thought to look under the rug. Look under the rug. I mean, it's just like the most obvious clues. And it's like, just look under the rug.
I still can't make myself like that movie because Matt Reeves is he's a better filmmaker than what he gave us. I don't understand so many people loving that movie. I really don't.
The bit I thought was saying is I'm not sure Gotham City would be built there if they needed that kind of flood defense around like most of the city. I'm like, I'm pretty sure they wouldn't live there. Or is this supposed to be in a future where the ice caps have melted or something? Because it didn't really make sense. And he was allowed to build a load of bombs along what would be an incredibly important infrastructure system. I didn't. And then shut up.
Well, that's blatant as possible, but the most blatant thing is the easiest and most simple thing, besides just look under the rug, is rat with wings. Who could it be? Definitely not the guy in the city that's last name is Falcon. Definitely not. It couldn't be. What? Matt Reeves, this amazing filmmaker that writes so many great movies, and that's definitely the best thing we could come up with.
But Lenny Kravitz's daughter.
Well, Zoe Kravitz is always great. Did you see? I think it's called Blink Twice. Her directorial debut with Channing Tatum last year. It was a good little thriller movie. Wasn't the best thing in the world. It was like an island abduction. Channing Tatum was like a big time CEO, kind of Epstein-y a little bit.
Got slaughtered. Was that the one?
Which one?
Everyone got slaughtered. Is that it?
Yeah.
I did watch it, yeah.
Yeah.
It was okay.
Yeah.
That was good. We got to see a little bit of Rocky.
It's going to be so... between Weapons and Project Hail Mary, those two things are just holding me out for the rest of this year.
Cool.
I don't know how I haven't seen that. To be honest, I've not been looking at the internet that much this week. I've been very, very busy.
I still haven't read the book, but do you like Ryan Gosling as Ryland Grace in there?
I'm gonna have to watch the movie.
Okay.
I
Do you
don't know.
like that it's
the person who plays the woman? Yes.
Okay.
From that trailer, yes, definitely. It's like the woman who enlists him to become a.
Okay. Do you like that it's Phil Lord and Chris Miller, the 21 Jump Street guys and Solo guys and Spider-Verse guys?
Can we not say Solo? Can we just go 21 Jump Street?
I don't give a
Love
shit.
that. And Spider-Verse. Let's forget Solo.
I like Solo. It ain't
It
great, but it's a good little thing.
They just cast Solo wrong, to be honest. Do you remember that that film years ago, John Carter? And it was like the biggest losing movie of all time.
Taylor Kitsch, that was so great.
It was a good film, but
Brad Bird, man.
Well, they just cast John Carter wrong, so everyone was turned off by everything. It was like, he looks a bit weird. And he's an actor I really like, but he looked weird in that movie, so it bombed. So everyone's like, I don't want to watch it. I think that's going to happen again. Sorry.
John Carter is going to be done again?
No, there are rumors that John Carter is going to be done again, yeah. But no, if they get the lead star cast wrong, it really harms the movie.
Aye.
But I think Ryan Gosling, I think he's really matured in the last couple of years, and I think he's now got to a point where he can do action movies, and it doesn't look ridiculous.
Well, so, I think he started off being able to do that kind of stuff. I mean, he started off doing Memento, and not Memento. That's what's his name? What's the movie where he met his wife, Eva Mendes? Whatever. What I'm thinking of, The Place Between the Pines, or something like that. He rides a motorcycle. It's very dramatic, really good hard work like that. And then stuff like Remember the Titans when he was a lot younger. Like he's good in the action and stuff. And then he kind of went goofy for a little bit. Not a bad goofy, but a fun.
Well, he always says he does projects that he doesn't do projects for the money. He does projects that he thinks he'll have fun on, which is why he did Barbie. So just said I just thought it looked fun. I just thought I'd have a laugh on that. God, I wish I hadn't done it. But anyway, he will be Rambo.
You really think so?
I might.
More than think so?
I would be. I know for a fact there's been conversations. I might know somebody that knows his agent.
Would it be a complete rehaul and retool of First Blood? Okay. Yeah. Oh, nice guy.
A complete reboot of the series and modernize it, and he's going to be coming back from Afghanistan, and that'll be the thing. And it's got to get money, but Sylvester Stallone is up for it. Ryan Reynolds is desperate to do it. Ryan Gosling is desperate to do it. They've just got to get the studio on board, and then it'll happen.
Depending on how Project Hail Mary goes, that could be a lot easier said than done, or harder.
Do you read a lot of sci-fi books?
I used to. I don't anymore. I used to. I read a lot when I was like 16.
I've read one recently, within the last 6 months, that I would love to see made into a film. It's called Children of Time by Adrian Tchaikovsky.
All right.
It is so good. It's about... it's basically set over the course of like 1 million years or something, but it's about the evolution of this one planet. Because essentially, it starts off with this woman, her name's Kern, and she wants to terraform this planet. So she's going to send down a load of monkeys, and then she's going to go into stasis, and then when they're mature, she's going to go down and become their god. That doesn't happen, and the monkeys die, and instead, because there's like this retrovirus that's supposed to like super enhance their evolution, it latches onto spiders. So it's this planet full of spiders that become like sentient, and it's really good. I hate spiders, so I'm like scared about like actually seeing it in person, but I want to see it. Right. I want to see it happen because it's such a good fucking book.
Not in a million years am I watching that. No,
I'm not.
I watch I wasn't scared of spiders. I watch Arachnophobia. I'm now fucking scared of spiders. I never used to be. So I know that's not a film I can watch. No.
But the thing with this retrovirus, the thing with this retrovirus is it was engineered for primates and not arachnids, so it doesn't ever stop. So they're still evolving.
Oh, literally, Stormy's reading that book right now.
It's so good. I'm on Children of Ruin. Well, I say I'm on it. I've started it. I haven't got very far, but that's the second one, and that's it.
I don't have time to read anymore. All I do is
Audible.
talk to. Well, just like I don't have time. I could get the audiobook and sit and watch it in the I might have to try to do that. I'm trying to write a story. I do videos every damn day. You're welcome. Or I'm talking to people who tell me stuff that lets me do videos. Or I'm talking to people that tell me stuff and then say, "Oh, you can't tell anyone though." I'm like, fuckers. And then and I work like a dog. Don't have time to read.
I mean, I've got a dog. My dog doesn't work. So.
No, I do everything for my dog. Well, they're so tired. Look, I need sympathy.
Do you?
Fucking twats.
Do you?
Well, real quick, while Stormy's right here, for the sake of just saying it real quick, y'all go check out Stormy's new channel, Mojo Zoo, down here below. While you're at it, Sarah's also got a new channel, Sarah_6226.
Really? What sort of videos has she done? Has she done anything
Like an intro so far. But she was talking about doing some like metal and yes, you need to subscribe.
If you subscribe, it makes her have to make a video.
Well, because she's a metalhead and they're all huge hockey folk around there, so she's gonna have all kinds of stuff. We'll see.
Hockey, yeah.
We'll
yeah,
see.
I like hockey, yeah.
Are you still watching
Canadian, Sarah?
No, as soon as the Maple Leafs got knocked out, I stopped watching hockey.
Right next door.
I didn't know you were Canadian.
She's not Canadian, but right next door.
Oh. I almost liked her more then for a second.
I liked her more for a minute. There's a line heads of state actually when they were talking to some like young guys, and they goes, "What are you doing?" Certain things. "Oh, hi, we're Canadian." And Son Johnson goes, "What do you mean we're Canadian? Americans are loved all over the world." And Dave Stubbs looks at me and goes, "We're Canadian."
Hell yes.
Yeah, that's it. Go, Sarah. You go, girl.
I guess after everybody goes subscribes, of course, Megan 2 is the only other thing I think I saw this week. I haven't really watched a whole bunch of TV. I've watched a little SG1 in the background, and that's, I think, about it.
I love how you say Megan. I'm
even behind Murderbot and Rick and Morty.
Yeah, I just remembered I've got to go watch the Friday's Murderbot.
I did. I am caught up with Resident Alien. Keeping caught up with Resident Alien. That's pretty fun. It's not as good as.
Is that still going?
Yeah, season 4.
Yeah, full season. It's not out yet.
Really?
I don't think. Anyway, I looked for it yesterday and I couldn't see it.
It is if you go to
it's on what?
The Bay.
All right. Okay, I'll have to go and have a look. I love Resident Alien. The first season was brilliant. The second season, not so much. The third season was brilliant again. So I'm looking forward to the fourth.
I think I only got halfway through the first season, and I think I gave up on it.
Yeah, this one's got some good elements into it, but they haven't decided to jump fully into any element, and it feels like they're just tiptoeing around things that could be a lot cooler. We do get Clancy Brown. The Kurgan's in there for a bit, vocally. But that's about it. Oh, I think we're all looking forward, Ian, to Foundation Season 3.
Yeah, I keep seeing adverts for it.
Oh, yeah. Yep, Sarah said she's been watching, and I guess watching it for the first time to catch up with it. Sheriff Mike is the best. Yeah, besides that, I think Megan 2 is the only thing I watched outside of Jurassic and 28 Years Later and stuff like that. And Megan 2 was not great, but it's not bad.
Shocked. It's not bad either?
No, it's just dumb fun. And it's not bad dumb fun. It's well done dumb fun. But did you see what Jason Blum of Blumhouse, the guy that funded the whole thing, write about the movie a couple days after it came out and it wasn't very successful. He said, we thought Megan was Superman. We thought we could drop her in the middle of summer, make her a good guy instead of a bad guy, and do all these different things. She was the new version of Chucky, not Superman. They went like the Terminator route with Megan 2, where now Megan might be fighting another robot, and that's all I'll say. But
yeah, I like Blumhouse though. I like
Blumhouse.
I've really enjoyed. So I can't remember the last one I watched Blumhouse. What was it? It was good though.
Invisible Man, Wolfman.
Oh, the first Invisible Man. Yeah, the remake of Invisible Man a couple of years ago was great. That was such.
Elizabeth Moss.
But then I watched something really recently, Blumhouse. Can't remember, but I'm just have to look up. I'm just gonna have to look them up. That's gonna do me head in.
Where did you find that book, Matt? Was it on the web? Perfect, beautiful. I think that pun is the perfect way to bring us into animated Stargate.
Did you find that book? Was it on the web? Shut up, David.
Wait, there we go. Sarah's fighting back. She said, "Don't y'all eat beans for breakfast?" Weird.
It's totally killer. The film I liked.
We don't eat beans for breakfast. We eat beans for lunch. Beans on toast.
We sometimes have beans for breakfast. A full English breakfast.
Only on a fry up. Only on a fry up.
Fry up, yeah. Full English, baby.
But animated Stargate, is it doable? Is it possible? Is it the best way to bring Stargate back to our screens?
It's not the best.
Is it the easiest?
Let's not throw out that it's the best. Unless you mean like practically.
Efficiency wise.
Practically, it might be the best. It might be the only way this company will actually bloody do it and see what happens. But it's not the best. The best way is to bring this just to series that we actually want. That's the best. But we need Amazon to actually do that. But animation is getting cheaper and quicker and easier every year. And with AI, we could even have General Hammond and use AI to generate his voice and stuff with his family's permission.
Yeah.
There's lots of things we can do, and what I'd love to see is like an SG1 series, but that fills in the gaps between episodes and stuff like that, and or adds to episodes and things. That could be fun. But I think an SG1 series is the one thing that could happen. And if you're looking at what other stuff's going on, like Star Trek at the moment, nostalgic stuff works. People go for it.
Ooh.
So
you just gave me an idea.
It's the first one. Tell us.
What? And we don't toss ideas out ever. What? But if they're gonna, I really like the idea of filling in the gaps like that. It would be fun to have SG1 back to do that, but to get around having to either license the AI to do that all the time or pay him a big upfront chunk to always license their name and continuity one way or another, whatever they decide to do. Or if they just hire the actor to voice act a whole bunch. Big old voice booth right here, surprise. You can always do that too. What if the animated series was called SG2 and you literally followed SG2 cleaning up SG1's messes or after SG1's left the place that we're familiar with. Okay, now SG2's sitting to guard it, whatever it might be. That could be a fun.
You can always do a lower decks, it's SG18, and we're we're the shit. We don't get any of the good jobs.
That was kind of the idea, yeah. That'd be fun.
SG69, completely different type of movie altogether.
It'd be the Wormhole Extreme post and pre-Wormhole Extreme.
I always thought they should do an animated Wormhole Extreme. I always should just completely take the piss, but I would have liked that once Stargate is up and running and we're getting live action stuff, and almost like a lower decks. You get the universe up and running. You get a couple of series going, a couple of seasons maybe. Then you bring us Wormhole Extreme, but do it as a comedy animated series and
SG13 would be fun.
Yeah, I think the people you should follow is those scientists from the other guys episode, Felger and the other. I can't remember. It's Jay Felger and the other guy.
Dr. Phlox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen him a few things recently. He's put a bit of weight on, but everyone does when they get a bit older. That's why I'm drinking this shit, because I'm trying to lose weight. Sorry, I keep swearing today. I'm tired. Leave me alone.
We're past the first 5 minutes. David brought up a good point. Because we've talked about it, Jurassic Park is sci-fi. It's not like our typical sci-fi we think of.
No.
But Star Trek and Star Wars are obviously the big heavy honchos that are always there, the big heavy hitters.
Yeah.
What would y'all consider to be the third largest sci-fi franchise outside of Star Trek and Star Wars? Would it be Jurassic Park? Would it be like an Aliens or a Predator or something like that? I feel like Jurassic
and Predator.
Power Rangers
Jurassic's made more money than them.
It should be Stargate, but we haven't had it on the screens for 20 years. But Aliens and Predator are making an awful lot of money for Disney at the moment.
Well, and hell, I guess Predator just joined the ranks of these guys, not with an animated show, but animated hit with Predator Killer of Killers.
Yeah. Which was brilliant. I loved it so much.
So good.
But I remember people whinging as, why can't the Predator ever win? Why is it always going to be the humans winning? Because you're missing the point. You're missing the point of the movie. This goes back to the comic books and the history of the Predators. I forgot the name of them.
The Yautja?
Yautja. Yautja? That's not right. Yautja. There's a Predator there. Yautja.
It's the noise you make when you see a predator.
Yeah. But it's building up towards that thing of that when a human being wins a battle, or any alien species wins a battle, they can actually be promoted, and there's a whole thing of this predator killing thing that they actually honor and respect, and that's the point. What's the point of seeing the predator turn up and just slaughtering people and then disappearing? Where's the hero in that? What on earth was that noise? Was that me?
No, it was probably my son.
Oh, is he all right? A bit of a cough, isn't he?
He's fine.
Didn't he just cough up a lung?
He's fine.
He's a 20 a day kid. But people didn't. I think a couple of people kind of missed the point with that. But the next Trachtenberg movie, Trachtenberg.
Dan Trachtenberg.
A movie is going to be.
We get that Predator as
not
antagonist,
protagonist. Predator's like an anti-hero, isn't it?
Well, I guess so, because he is our protagonist technically, but I guess he's trying to like blood himself and take over a town.
It's going to be there's a character that he basically is protecting or working with or something who's a human.
The Weyland-Yutani robot, right?
Yeah. So the basic plot, from what I was told, was that they're sort of working together, and it's a bit like Predators when there's the little predator and the bigger predators, and there's going to be a bigger predator involved in the storyline as well, and then there's a bunch of monsters, but creatures chasing them down, and so it's going to be them. It's like a buddy movie almost, I was told. So let's see what comes.
My fancy.
Trachtenberg has got a history of putting out false information out there, and he's a bit of a tinker for it. So you have to be a bit careful when you hear rumors about this movie. He's very, very good. We've got a bunch of it with Prey. They set up. There was loads of different stories about what Prey was like. They're going to be about, and we didn't. Basically, until it was released, nobody was quite sure what it was about. So yeah, he's a bit of a tinker for that.
Oof. November 7th. I just looked it up. I'd forgotten what date it comes out. I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
I'm excited.
He can do half what if they can do something really exciting like he did with Prey with a slightly better budget. He's got about 30% more money to spend. We could really have something really good.
And even he was just the producer on it, but even just the thought process of, I love how, we were one of the channels saying it. We were one of the groups of people saying it right after we watched Prey was, okay, yes, but now do this with cowboys. Yes. Do this with samurai. Yes. Do this with ninja. Yes. Do this with this, that. And do the anthology film was ballsy.
And he did it. He did it animated.
Clever.
The first rumors that the next film was going to be World War One, and I know for a fact that was Dan Trachtenberg telling people that he put it round, and that's what it was going to be. And then Badlands, he then said it was going to be basically a sequel to Prey, which is also not true.
No.
But she may be in a future. We saw her in the animated movie at the end.
End of Killer Kills.
So that's gonna be something that they get to in the end, sort of thing. But the Killer of Killers is apparently where they're going with the franchise at the moment, and aliens will be involved in it at some point. We will see a xenomorph in it at some point. But he's hoping to do like 4 or 5 movies. And he wants to. This can really become his baby, sort of thing, over at Disney, and they can do a run of a few films. But with aliens doing well as well, and then really increasing that universe, the next 10 years, I think, could really be an awful lot about aliens and Predator.
Ooh, and as much as I love Fede Alvarez, and he did absolutely amazing with Alien Romulus. And I'm excited to see what he does with it. Noah Hawley on Alien Earth, having Noah Hawley and Dan Trachtenberg both kind of heading up both things. Oh, if we do finally get the, and we're gonna get that crossover, like you just said, at some point. But when
they'll wait until it works. I think there'll be a couple of projects they'll hint at it, and then they'll nail it. But I tell you,
feels like they have the right people.
Yeah. The first 3 episodes of Alien Earth are freaking excellent. They're so good.
So excited.
It's just you're going to be buzzing for it. By the 3rd episode, it's all go. Really good. Timothy Oliphant's
August 12th. We're a month and a week.
Yeah, really good.
Well, before we dive back into Stargate real quick, someone mentioned, we've been talking about Predator Badlands. I looked up the date. Someone earlier mentioned the Running Man trailer.
Oh, yeah.
Y'all saw that Predator Badlands and the Running Man come out the same day?
I think they fucked up in Running Man.
Okay, from 2 Brits' point of view, I don't know if you've seen the trailer or not, Matt, but it felt like the least Edgar Wright movie I've ever seen, and it felt like the least British movie Edgar Wright's made so far as well to me.
I think it's simple.
Trailer-wise.
They cast it wrong. I really
like
I like the main guy. I can't remember his name, but I like the main guy, and he did this movie. He was good in Top Gun. He was fine. He did a movie where he was like pretending to be an assassin. I forget what it was called. And he plays a million different characters through the film.
Richard Linklater film on Netflix.
Really good. He's excellent in it. I don't see him in Running Man. I just don't see it. I think that's cast wrong. And sometimes you just get an actor and you just go, this isn't right. Sort of thing. And I watch it and I think, and I'm hoping I'm wrong, but do you know what I mean? It's just like I've had a million films over the years, and we were just like, oh, this is a good film, but my God, it's cast wrong. John Carter, we mentioned earlier. It always reminds me about like Back to the Future, when they had a really good actor, and I've forgotten his name, the ginger fella, as Marty McFly, and then they realised like 2 weeks.
Eric Stoltz.
Yeah, Stoltz, great actor, but they just realised 2 weeks in, this is just not right, and it wasn't the acting. The acting was great. It was just he didn't look right. And they said, we've got to get, and they got Michael J. Fox in. But he was the first.
Townsend on Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. There's a million examples of it, of getting the casting wrong. I just think they've cast it wrong. But we'll see. He might be amazing in it, to be fair.
I mean, it's Edgar Wright. It's Edgar Wright.
He can't be wrong.
It could be amazing, you know? But just, my roommates and I have been kind of talking about the Running Man around the house, I guess, for the last few days. And the thing that is getting me about it, it just feels like no matter what Edgar Wright movie you're watching, it could be Scott Pilgrim, it could be Baby Driver, it could be Shaun of the Dead, it could be anything in between, anywhere in the Cornetto trilogy, whatever it is. It's so stylized. This feels very generic Hollywood coming from the trailer. It just feels very run-of-the-mill, and I hate to say it because I do love Glenn Powell as an actor. But Arnie was amazing because, okay, this guy has a chance. He's a good looking ogre. He's the size of an ogre, just looks better than an ogre. You know, you can actually want to support the guy and want him to win. Where Glenn Powell's not that, like, I'm not saying cast Henry Cavill or whoever you would end up casting as the Kurgan, but it would be better just because you need that imposing person that can fight all these people rather than now it's just a battle of attrition.
Yeah,
just because everybody else is.
They've changed the way it is, though, haven't they, as well? They've changed like the way the Running Man game works. And you got to survive a year or something, or is it a month? You got to survive something like that.
Yeah,
a long time. And I was like, well, the Running Man thing was just sort of like the whole point of it that it's running and it's action packed and it's violent, and that one sounds like you just sort of like hide a bit.
Yeah,
I'm okay. I'm hiding.
He got training from the Richard Linklater film. He can do some hair now.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see.
With that though, to just get that back into the Stargate, back into the Amazon Prime realm of things.
Yeah.
Do you think Amazon might have seen that trailer and before saying like 100% yes on Denis, 100% yes on Paul King, 100% yes on Edgar Wright, all the different choices for the new Bond director that they were talking to? Do you think they might have seen the Running Man trailer and said, sorry, Edgar Wright, this is not what we're looking for. We need that. I was about to say that like British Seal, and then they hire a French Canadian dude, but I don't know.
Yeah, I'm concerned about the James Bond movie. I like the way they're going with the story. And casting. Oh, sorry. Ignore me. Move on.
What? Nothing, huh?
I didn't say anything.
So,
spoilers.
Amazon Stargate animations.
Shit. I like that they're doing a younger Bond. We'll just leave it at that. I like this. But I've said that in videos years ago that I was told it's going to be a younger Bond, still in the Navy. I don't know if they're still going with that, but it's a younger Bond, and it's going to be how he became 007, basically. That was always Amazon's plan.
Is it still? I don't like that plan.
Unfortunately, the director is basically their idea was we need to do something that people haven't seen before, and we've seen everything with James Bond as 007. So right, okay, one thing we can do is we can see why he became 007. What did he do to get noticed to be able to get that job, basically? I like that idea, but it very much depends on how they do it. That seems to be what they're doing, but the director coming on board might change direction of things quite dramatically. But he is going with an early 30s actor, which we've not really.
No, do you know who I'd want it to be? And I don't know who you think it is, or know it is, or whatever. But I want it to be Tom Holland.
It's not.
No, never. Please, no.
Yes.
That is the one name I can say it definitely isn't.
I think that'd be good. Having Tom Holland.
I don't think it works. I think he looks too young. I think it'll work for the first couple of films, and it won't work after that.
He can grow a beard, it's fine. Or he can paint one on.
Yeah, I'm not sure he can grow a beard.
Have you seen his more dramatic roles? They're good, but not in the way Bond is good.
No, he can't.
He can play suave, but it's like frat boy suave versus legitimately suave. And the dude's nearing on 30.
Sorry, the plan is James Bond will be in the movies, but there will be streaming projects around it. So then I've heard rumors about a Q series. I've heard rumors about an M series that will interlink. Maybe even seeing like a 002 series or something. I've heard a few different rumors, but there will be they want to build a universe over time, but James Bond will be the movies. I don't know if they'll do cinematic movies of other things, but they will try to do things in and around the character.
Interesting.
So we'll see how that goes.
I'm very trepidatious.
Again, it really depends what they do. It's got, to me, it's got alarm bells over a few things that I've heard. But again, the new director, from what I'm understanding, is he really is like going to be running things. And the new producers they've got on board as well. It really depends on what their vision is. And from what I've seen and heard, but what Amazon want is they want the thing that's cost them £1 billion just in the last 12 months. They want it to be like basically their tentpole project for the next 10 years. They're saying this is the main reason they bought MGM in the first place. It's got to be more than just a movie every 2-3 years for them. They're going to want more out of it than that. And we've already seen it a bit because they did that sort of like series, didn't they, last year? Or just like it was like a game show thing. What was it? They were doing like James Bondy missions and stuff to find out who was the best one and how to get to the thing at the end. Who was the actor that they had voicing over it? It's going to annoy me. I didn't watch it because it looks shit. But then we'll be seeing things like that as well, I imagine. They'll squeeze every drop of blood out of James Bond that they can. Because that's what they do.
Oh, Road to a Million?
I think that was it, yeah. They kept referencing...
Oh, Brian Cox.
Brian Cox. And they kept referencing Bond all the way through it. We'll see all sorts. They'll do all sorts. But then, yeah, I quite like the idea of a Q series. I don't know quite how they would do it for it to be action, to have something, a point of it. But I could see how that could be done. And then could be interesting because they could do something like that to work into the next movie and stuff like that. So, yeah,
because if it's a Q series, you could have 003, 005, 00. You could have different agents come and use Q as well. Monk has asked a couple times here, and I don't think they've announced a whole bunch. But is Denis? Do you have any inkling of Denis being involved past the first film? Is he signing on for multitudes of films? Do you believe, or just the single one?
My understanding is that the initial plan is to have a trilogy. There'll be 3
with Denis,
and Denis will be the director for all 3.
No.
But mate, he's only just contracted. But the plan is for a trilogy. My understanding was that the first plan was to have 3 films, and by the 3rd film he becomes 007. And that was the idea, but that was just a very loose idea, like 2 years ago, that Amazon had, and that was sort of the plan. I don't know how that's evolved. I haven't heard a lot about how the story's evolved, and I know there's a new script being produced at the moment that now that Denis Villeneuve is involved, so they're evolving the script at the moment.
Okay.
And that, well, to be honest, as well, now more importantly, now the new producers are involved and Barbara Broccoli's out, they've pushing forwards with it. But that was always sort of Amazon's sort of like initial pitch sort of thing to them, was just like, this is what we'd quite like to do. But now it's what do the new producers and the director sort of do with that. And you know what it's like when a new director comes in with the weight that Denis Villeneuve has, he could say, well, I want this, this, and this. He has picked the new Bond. He has basically gone, this is the person I want.
Good. I like that.
And I think that is what apparently they were going in another direction, but now they're negotiating with somebody else. And it's just a matter of getting him to sign on the dotted line. And yes, it is a white male. Before people start panicking, it's going to be Jane Bond. It's not.
What?
It's a white male.
See, I like Denis directing 3 of them. That's not why I'm screaming no. I just want Rendezvous with Rama. That means Rama's going to come out in a decade now.
No, we could do both.
Maybe.
We won't get a James. We'll only get a James Bond movie every 3 years or so. We won't get one.
Yeah, but Denis takes his time on his films.
Yeah,
and
he does, to be fair.
And even though he's not going to be directing Dune, there's no way he's not going to be involved in a producing aspect.
That happens quite commonly, doesn't it? Though another project that's slightly separate, a new director comes in, but the old director executive produces or something, so he's still very much involved in the project, but doesn't necessarily direct it. It could be something like that.
I would like him to direct the first one and move into that kind of stuff, because he was going to do. He has another. I forget the book title, but it's like a nuclear apocalyptic war kind of deal that he's already tapped to direct for Paramount, as well as Rendezvous with Rama. And Rendezvous with Rama gives us another really cool sci-fi series. Like, come on, popcorn.
I just read Popcorn Power's comment.
Oh,
yeah, so that is some industrial strength sarcasm.
This question might get us into a little deep waters. Can you hint or no?
I'm not saying.
Good.
I'm not saying anything else. I already said too much.
Smart.
And it's not contracted yet. And my understanding is he's picked him, and they're in the process of negotiating with the person. So it could still go sideways, to be honest. But I think if Villeneuve knocks on your door and goes, "I want you to be James Bond," you ain't saying no. So no, I'm not saying anymore. It is the one thing I can say. It is a name that's been bandied about. This isn't going to be a shock.
Okay, cool. Well, if there are still these alarm bells going off talking about James Bond, is the one thing Amazon could hold their hat on probably Stargate, and animation would probably be the easiest way to actually bring it back to our screens in some capacity. Yeah, before we want to do that big giant like movie or something of the sort.
All I can say is they've looked at animation before. They want to get MGM animation back up and running, and they've wanted to for a couple of years. MGM was desperately trying to do it before Amazon came in. Amazon also didn't they buy out Sony Animation? I think they did.
And Google.
Just double check that, but I think they bought Sony Animation. So they want to do more animation stuff. I mentioned this to my MGM guy that I speak to just messaged me going, "That's not a terrible idea," when he sort of commented on my video. So I don't know if that means anything, because he's a little git when he does little things like that sometimes. And I go, "Do you want to elaborate on that?" And he just sends back smiley faces. But they want to do more animation stuff, is my understanding. It's the one area that's quite cheap to make. But I think they want to do more animated movies, if I'm honest. But it's quite cheap to make, and if they do it right, it makes a bloody fortune. It's a really good way of making a lot of money if you get it right. And I think they're looking at cinema at the moment as well, and just going, look, it seems to be all the movies at the moment that do well tend to be kids' films, tend to be either animations or live action versions of animations. And so they're not stupid over at Amazon. They're like going, okay, well, if we're going to do cinematic movies, we need to do something that's going to make some money. So
yeah, I did just check. They didn't buy out Sony Animation, but they did make a deal with Sony International for film distribution. MGM did.
Yeah, I think they bought some of the buildings.
Okay.
Or something. Or was it there's like a Sony let me Google it.
Like a little subsidiary company or something.
They bought some of the buildings or something. There's like some campus or something they bought.
Okay.
Let me have a look. Program headquarters is located in Seattle.
Matt, if you're thinking animated Stargate, what are you looking for? Like, do you want it to be that silly kind of like Lower Decks Wormhole Extreme thing, or do you think it'd be almost like a Clone Wars Rebels or Star Trek the Animated Series kind of situation?
I want it to be the same tone as actual Stargate. So I guess
I don't know. Isn't like Rebels like more of a serious one? Is it? I don't know. I'm asking because I've not seen it. If that's the more serious of all of them, that one?
Most of the Star Wars cartoons were done at least with supposed to be done within the universe, aren't they?
Yes, they're all in universe, and they do get pretty damn serious. Yeah, I mean, obviously, we joke about the Prodigy, Lower Decks, kind of Wormhole Extreme kind of idea, but if they did devote the time to do a Clone Wars, that might be exactly what we've been missing from Stargate in a lot of ways, because, you know, Clone Wars is able to give you inklings. You have a main cast of characters, but that main cast is probably 7 to 9 characters. There's probably 3 to 5 that are very like pertinent, you know. You have 8 or 9 main characters, and you can go. You have ancillary characters that you hang out with for an episode or two that end up being secondary characters throughout the series. I think that would be a well. You know, we always talk about like an ancient show, a Jaffa show, this show here, something like that. That might be a good way, like a Clone Wars style show, to actually expand and explore all those different topics.
Yeah, I think Lucasfilm have really led the way on doing animated stuff that it's not for kids, really. It's for Star Wars fans. But you can do a project really, really cheaply and do it. And I think it's sort of more for the projects you don't really want to spend all the money to do live action, or would be so expensive to do live action, it's sort of not worth doing. But you can do animation. So you almost do like a serious animation, but really it's more of a business decision of like, okay, we really want to do this project, but it will cost so, we'll have to spend like Andor money on it, and we don't want to do that at the moment. So we'll do an animated series to fill in these gaps. I could see that being the Stargate type of thing. And I think your example there of doing like a Jaffa series, I mean, if you go beyond, once we start getting live action series, we start getting a couple of movies or something, I'd still love to see animated stuff. But yeah, a Jaffa series, an Ancients prequel series, or blah, blah, blah.
The Ancients prequel series would be good because you could see the actual War with the Wraith and have some like proper epic space battles. I'm talking like bigger than like Battle for Antarctica in season 7 of SG-1.
Yeah. And the only way you're doing that at the moment would be animated. And yeah, we could see a couple of animated movies. You know, they don't cost a fortune, and they can be done in virtual secret. You know, it's like the Babylon 5 animated movie they did a couple of years ago. We found about 3 months before it came out. Nobody knew anything about it. I sort of heard an inkling. I was told straight that they were doing a Babylon 5 animated movie, and I didn't believe it.
I didn't believe it.
I was just like, I didn't believe them. But it was that was literally about a year before it was announced, and I was like, no, there's no rumors at all. I'd like a second person to, you know, it's just like, I didn't believe it. I thought it was bullshit. And then about 3 months before, it was announced, and I'm like, oh yeah, I was told about this. Oh shit. Like, oops. But it wasn't very good. But I think that's a blueprint of what could be done though with Stargate, because that's the kind of thing they could do. They've got all the voices. None of the actors really, other than Jason Momoa, have really gone on to be massive stars at anything. Also,
no, and
you can get
as much as I love Momoa,
Christopher Judge is Kratos.
Yes, he is. They could get him to do Stargate, a voiceover for Stargate, and I think it would be okay. But a lot of the time as well, they can get these people to do it from home. Richard Dean Anderson could do it in his kitchen. Exactly. There you go. And then you go in, and then you never come out. It's amazing. Just looks like a magic trick, sorry. But yeah, you don't have to get these people into studios, and if you did, they'd only be there 2 or 3 days.
No,
recording an entire series.
Even with Chris Judge and Momoa being as big as they are now, and I you know how much we adore all of them, they're not anywhere near the highest paid actors every year. They're not the actors that are either even the ones that I think are going out there asking for bigger paychecks or anything like that. They probably do. Of course, their agents do and say, hey, we want to get paid well, but they're not costing an arm. It's not RDJ you're asking for. You know, like I think these guys and Jason Momoa has done lower level TV than Stargate ever was very consistently for the past decade with Netflix on its Frontier show and C on Apple TV. Both of those are very well produced, so on and so forth, but they don't get much eyeballs.
He's another actor, though, that likes to do stuff that interests him, doesn't he? And
he's more worried about the project, I think.
But he's always said Stargate has got a special place in his heart. He's still really good friends with people from SG.
Flanagan and Hewlett.
You know, he's got them all jobs at different times or another. He got them all at David Hewlett on C. You know, and well, they were all on it at one time or another. They did that Guinness advert not long ago, and that was just basically Jason Momoa going, I'd quite like my friends from SGA to be in it, if you don't mind, please. Yeah, Joe Flanagan was in it, and Joe Flanagan did the Guinness advert. So Jason Momoa's got a bit of loyalty to that. And you got to remember,
I don't remember this advert.
Yeah, well, yeah. But Jason Momoa hated David Hewlett. He hated
really?
him. Oh, I mean, David Hewlett was telling a story about how Jason Momoa was sort of going on about something, and David Hewlett just lost his rag at him and started shouting at him. And he just said, halfway through, I sort of realised this guy's got a foot on me, and he could see in his eye he was ready to punch me. And David Hewlett said, but the words just kept coming out of my mouth. And apparently they didn't talk to each other for like 3 or 4 years. And then when Jason Momoa phoned him to go, do you fancy being C? Apparently David Hewlett was like, you're talking to me. And Jason Momoa was like, yeah, why wouldn't I? And I was like, I didn't think we liked each other, sort of thing. So yeah, they didn't get on apparently towards the end of SGA.
Wow.
But Jason Momoa still got him a part in the thing. So and David Hewlett was brilliant in that C. He was so menacing. He was really good. So was Joe Flanagan, to be fair.
I guess I'd seen quick, like, I don't know if I'd ever actually seen a full trailer for it, because I didn't realize the whole world couldn't see, and it was just his children, I guess, that could see, or whatever it actually is. That's a really cool concept in general.
And you know the one thing that, again, I've just seen somebody mention Brad Wright. Right, they don't want Brad Wright to do Stargate for whatever reason. They don't know. They've got a script from Brad Wright for a project that included RGJ, Richard Dean Anderson, sorry, it included Sam, it included further legacy characters. I'm just going, just do that.
That 2019 script.
Yeah, do the 2019 script as a little mini series just to see if people still care. Just do that. It only costs like £2 million. They could do something 2-3 hour little mini series. For Amazon, it's nothing. It would cost nothing. Do it as a test bed for your new animation project or something, and just see if people like it. Basically, what they do with Battlestar Galactica when that came out. Do a mini series, see if people go for it. If they do, let's
full
do
series.
Yeah, easy. And get Brad to produce it. Piece of piss. That was my point. It's a piece of piss to do. It's just do it. It's just.
Sarah brings up the only point. It just makes too much sense.
Amazon do mind no.
You know, like if they were to do that and they were to do a Clone Wars style series that it could tie in with stuff that's going on right now, but even just use that Clone Wars style series to fill in the blanks.
Yeah.
Hey, now we have all the answers we've been kind of wanting for the last 10 plus years. And we have storylines and cool things that could happen here. And like you were saying, they could do the things that they can't do in live action without paying a pretty penny in animation. We could have all the fun alien species throughout Stargate that we don't necessarily get to hang out with all the time in series like that. And actually,
do a Furlings animated series.
Give us the Nox.
Evil Ewoks, come on!
If they give us the Furlings, I don't want them to be actually furry.
They
what?
Should be furry. They should be like evil Ewoks. You're incredibly loud.
Why am I loud?
I don't know. Just the way you stood back then, you just jumped. I nearly jumped off my chair. I nearly fell off.
Jay!
The sausage.
Lord
It's
Sausage.
3D. He's coming out of the screen.
3D sausage. You want them to be scaly?
Yeah, if
This
they
sausage
do,
is all
if
up in
they
my
ever
face,
do,
and I like it.
Ooh.
You're like 6'5" or 6'9" or whatever you are, and I'm like 5'6", so your sausage would all be.
I'm exactly 6 foot.
Okay, I'm exactly 5'6" ish. 5'6" and a bit.
I think my missus is taller than you.
Oh shit! Really?
No, she's not. No, maybe I don't know. Anyway, we're not talking
I'm
about
moving
height.
to Japan. I'm moving to Japan. I'm average height in Japan. Tell you what.
If they ever do anything and they bring the furlings in, don't make them teddy bears.
No, do them.
Because everyone's expecting it, just because of the name and because of what they've referenced throughout the series. Like,
Yeah.
just don't do it.
I just
Make them
love
like mechanoids or something.
Yeah, do something with them. They've got to be something different from, or make them big. You know, they made the Asgard little. Make them giants or something.
I mean, maybe they are the actual giants from the the temple.
Well, you know how they love doing.
I can't remember what the episode was called.
Well, you know how they love doing ancient alien stuff. That is an ancient alien theory about the Anunnaki, and the Anunnaki were supposed to be giants, so they're supposed to be like 12 feet tall. So make them the Anunnaki. Make them giants. You ain't doing that in a live action anytime soon, unless it's really popular. So do it in an animation.
You can model them almost like off of the Game of Thrones giants to some degree, or make them a little bit more like sci-fi.
No, I think in an Anunnaki,
make them look like the BFG.
They're people, but they're big. They're tall. Yeah.
Okay.
You go to places like Kuyu and stuff like that, and they're the rooms were built. Do you remember that the church place that's built into the mountain that was in Indiana Jones and Last Crusades?
Yeah.
I mean, the rooms are like 15 feet tall, and carved out of stone. And they were like, why on earth did they carve out this incredibly difficult structure? But why did they make the room so tall? And one of the ancient alien theories is because it was built for the Anunnaki. And they are 12, 13, 14 feet tall. So it was so they could walk in. But yeah, they're not like Game of Thrones. They're just people. They look like people, but they're big. They're taller. And we've got loads of giant myths all the way through humanity. And like I say, we know Stargate likes to do that sort of thing. So that's what they should do with furlings, in my opinion.
So at least they would have some fur on their head. So we do
a little bit of fur.
There we go.
A little bit of fur.
There we go. Huh. That I feel like the Clone Wars. I feel like that Clone Wars style is the best way to do it. As fun as it would be to have like that Wormhole Extreme or something like that, maybe it's just not the right way to jump into it. They would have an audience that would adore it immediately, but it would be a smaller audience. And it's not necessarily the way you get new audience members, I guess, with a little fun show like that.
Yeah.
That's for the niche once you have your niche.
Yeah. Michael, I just said about the Celtic Giants, the Celtic Giants are also supposed to be linked to the Anunnaki. That's supposed to be the same myth. It all goes back to the Mesopotamia. Oh, cock. Let me Google it. It all goes back to this ancient. It's all linked to the Atlantis theory as well, in that it was supposed to be these people that then spread amongst the world when Atlantis sank. And I'll look it up. Oldest writing on Earth.
Babylonian?
I think it was even pre-Babylonian. Cuneiform. No, it was before that. Oh, no. What is the world's oldest religion? World's oldest.
It's technically not a Hindi. Is it Zoroastrianism or something older than that?
Oh, Hindu is supposed to be the world's old. Oh, no, that's the world's oldest still existing religion. What is the world's first religion? Hindu. That's right.
Peter, that episode's hilarious. The Rick and Morty has an episode where dinosaurs actually technologically evolved past us and left the planet. They didn't get wiped out by the asteroids, and then they come back, and it's a pretty funny episode.
Talks among yourselves. I will find out what's in my head. I used to know this stuff backwards.
Was supposedly a descendant.
It's the Sumerians. So the Sumerians had the Anunnaki myth. That's where it comes from. The Sumerian.
I could have helped you
in
out there.
Ancient Mesopotamia, right, which is like North Africa, and then that links into the Eye of the Sahara, which is believed to be Atlantis, which links into Planet X and the Anunnaki, and a lot of our ancient alien theories. But if you actually look at the Sumerian religion, there's an awful lot of links to Christianity. There's seven sisters and 7 angels. There's a myth about dying and coming back after 3 days. There's all these things, and that links into a lot of Celtic beliefs and stuff all over the world. But a lot of religions, they think, were like influenced by this one original Sumerian, and then that's what the ancient alien belief is, anyway.
Okay. Well, that's cool. If they could play off of that in a heartbeat, and
it's gold Stargate, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's what Stargate always does. We might have just solved that problem. I tell you what, they just need to put us in charge of fucking Stargate. We'll do it. We'll fly out of the park. Easy.
Well,
give us £2 million and I will give you an animated movie that people will watch.
I don't know if it would kind of, step on some people's toes or not. I don't think people are too worried about, especially with something like this. I don't think they're worried about real world religions necessarily and how it plays into their lives. They're just kind of enjoying a sci-fi show, and I think people can understand that. Okay, this is a sci-fi show, because it would be fun to have the Furlings play into like what Jeffrey's saying right here. Like Goliath in the Bible is supposedly a descendant of the Anunnaki, and like maybe play into some of those things. Make that like tie in that real world history. I know our mythology isn't necessarily our real world history, but utilize all that kind of stuff all together in a similar pattern.
Yeah. And then they could do little animated projects that would like show what happened to the Furlings and things like that. And but I think that only works once a live action series and stuff is up and running and doing well. It's like Star Trek as well. You can do these little side projects like Section 31, even though it was bloody awful. But you can do little side projects once the main thing is going. And James Bond is a similar thing. You've got to get James Bond going first, and then you can think about little side offshoots and stuff. But the main thing's got to be going first. Star Wars as well. Star Wars, we get little offshoot series like bloody Obi-Wan and things like that, or even The Mandalorian. But it only works because it's an offshoot, and that the main Star Wars is up and running and going, and then you can do little things, and some of it'll work, and some of it'll be Acolyte.
I hope not.
Well, unfortunately, you got to take some chances sometimes.
Hey, that's true.
Bloody Ironheart. God, that's bad. It's so bad.
Or which one?
The new Marvel.
Oh, Ironheart. I thought you said Iron Man for a second. I tuned out the Ironheart aspect of it.
Right. Somebody did a video and they were going, if you like Ironheart, you're not a real Marvel fan. And I kicked off and like, no, if you like Ironheart, and some people do, then you're still a fan. If you don't like it, you're still a fan. I don't care what. And I still stick by that. But it's really bad.
But it's really bad.
Yeah. And Daredevil was brilliant. Nobody watched that either. Yeah, no.
The ending was supposed to be good, right? Did you make it all the way?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, B-Sod said she couldn't get past the first episode.
No, it's not good. But we're going to see the character again because it's leading up to Doom and the Avengers Doom and stuff. So we will see the character again. Marvel should just stop. Honestly, I think Marvel are in. They have done the ultimate painting themselves into a corner. They have completely painted themselves into a corner for Marvel, and I just don't see where they're going with it now. I think Fantastic Four is going to be awful. And then Doomsday is just, I don't know what they're going to do with that. I think they think it's going to reignite the franchise, and it's just not. They need to get back to doing stuff like Daredevil Reborn. That's what they need to be doing, and rebuild it.
Nobody wanted to watch Daredevil.
Yeah, but it's excellent. That's the maddening thing. It's bloody excellent.
The more I think about it, the less I think that, though. It is still the worst season of Daredevil that we've gotten out of the 4 that we've gotten. It is a watered down version of the original Netflix series. It's still a really good series in a lot of ways.
I think it was on par with the second. I think it was on par with the second series. The second season, of the original Daredevil wasn't great. The first season, the second season was a bit meh. The third season was excellent. And it was on par with like Jessica Jones or something like that.
Oh, I'd rather watch Jessica Jones any day. I would watch Born Again though.
The first season of Jessica Jones is better than Born Again. The first season of Jessica Jones was brilliant. The second season of Jessica Jones wasn't great, but it's better than Iron Fist, and it's a damn sight better than Luke Cage. Johnny Cage. No, Luke Cage.
Luke Cage.
Was bloody awful.
Oh, I have a soft spot for some Luke Cage. I like both those seasons.
Didn't love it.
I don't think they're amazing.
I preferred his character when he came into Jessica Jones and stuff. I just don't think he should have had his own series. He was a good in between actor, and he should have jumped into maybe Iron Fist. I actually didn't hate Iron Fist, but it's another one where they miscast it. It's actually made quite well, but the guy playing Iron Fist, you just want to punch in the throat. Every time he does anything, just like, oh my God, just fuck off and die. If he dies and the woman in it gets the Iron Fist, I'd watch that. No, Luke Cage was terrible. I think
Mahershala would be so good.
The problem with Luke Cage was I didn't give a crap about the villain. That's why the first season of Jessica Jones was brilliant, because the man in the purple suit with David Tennant was just amazing. And I actually think that's why Daredevil season 2 was weak, because again, the villain was crap. So it just didn't really work. And as soon as they brought Kingpin back, it worked again. It was excellent.
Yeah. And
the Punisher was obviously amazing.
So good.
So,
Laura Tyrell. No, Finn Jones. Yeah, I guess for Luke Cage, I see what you're saying villain-wise, because you obviously care for Mahershala Ali so much more than you do Diamondback. By the time Diamondback gets there, you're like, oh, Diamondback is the bad guy? Really? But I think besides that, oh my God, Alfred Woodard.
He was excellent in the in thingy. Do you remember he got shot in the head with a shotgun in
Jessica Jones?
Jessica Jones. That was so good. I really liked that. I thought that was so clever. And he was just like, yeah, my skin's bulletproof, but then my insides ain't.
Yeah.
And he got messed up. I thought that was so clever. But I just didn't like him in his own series. I just thought it was crap. It didn't feel connected to what he'd done either. It didn't feel really connected to what we'd seen in the character already. It felt disjointed. It's, I just didn't like it.
Well, I'm with you. I was trying to find a way to rope that back into the Amazon side of the world.
Wrapping back in Stargate. I just don't. I'd like to say, it seems that with Stargate at the moment, the rumors are, it seems to be that they again have pushed it back onto the back burner. So my point really with the video was, this is an easy way and a cheap way and a really quick way to bring the franchise back and to see if they want to do it. And at the end of the day, nostalgia stuff works. And if they brought back an SG-1 series that then maybe led into an SG series, like SGC series that we talked about, people would go nuts for it. Release it on DVD.
And they could give us the answer to Destiny.
And they could do an SGU movie.
Or tease the answer to Destiny. They don't even have to give it to us immediately. Just say, we're almost to it.
SGU animated movie works for me. It's really hard to do, but don't give David Blue a job. The guy's a prank. But other than that, AI is voice. But
it would work well as an animated because you could have fat David Blue becoming David, the skinny David Blue.
Yeah.
Unless you did it live action and gave him a fat suit, but I don't think it'd look that good.
Look a bit weird. But I think it would be so expensive to do an SGU standalone movie. The only way.
Am I really that loud?
It was quite loud that time, yeah. Again, but as soon as you then back off, you're all right. But both times you've been right up to the microphone, and we've gone.
So if I do it like this, it's really loud.
Yeah,
I did just press automatically adjusted, so you might be good now.
Yeah.
Okay, is that good?
Not if Eli ate all the sleepers. Once I got hungry enough, I would definitely eat Robert Carlyle. You wouldn't get much meat on him then.
Popcorn SGU movie would be cheap if Eli ate everyone.
I just think an SGU movie is the only way we're going to get it. I actually also think that the idea for the SGA movie, Extinction, that might be a fun thing to do as well. And again, once a live action series is up and running, you could do an animated movie every 2 years or so. And which is basically what Star Trek's plan was. Do an animated movie every couple of years do an SGU movie, do an SGA movie that then lead into something in the live action. You know what I mean? There's like, right, we're doing something with Atlantis in the next series. Right, let's do an SGA cartoon that tells... It's a bit like when Star Trek are running a new series and they release a run of comic books beforehand. Mm-hmm. They give you a bit of a preamble to it that then leads into the series. They could do that. It'd be brilliant. And fans would love it. And I know people will go, animated. And we've got to remember us, it's not instead of live action, it's as well as. That's the thing we want from Amazon. It's got to be as well as something that adds to the live action stuff, like Star Wars has been doing for bloody years. I just think it'd be great. But we need Amazon to actually do it.
The thought with that was Charles did say earlier that cartoons just aren't his thing. Said it in a little bit different of a way. But he said cartoons
Charles not my thing.
But
animation's brilliant when it's done well, but it's bloody awful when it's done badly.
Oh, totally agreed. I don't think most of us are the people that we'd have to convince. But do you think animated Stargate just as much? Actually, I think the people that are just not animation fans probably wouldn't watch the animated thing, but would still watch the next Stargate thing. How much do you think an animated project would hurt people's inklings on wanting to watch a new Stargate if it were first?
Go on.
I think there is already a Stargate animated show, and it's not very
Infinity
well looked at.
It wasn't very Stargate.
It's not very well looked at. My fear would be if they announced a Stargate cartoon, it would just be compared to that, like by the press and blah blah blah. Like, oh, there already was a Stargate cartoon. They'd show that, everyone would then look at it and go, "Well, that was shit," and then they wouldn't watch it.
That's a danger. Yeah, we can't have Infinity again. It's pretty awful. But what I would say, Lower Decks is a good example of what they could do. Not with the comedy, but I mean just that sort of style. And it was done for grown-ups. It was done for adults. It wasn't done as a kid's show. Prodigy was done as a kid's show, and I think that's why it failed. Lower Decks was done for Star Trek fans, and it worked. And but it's one of the most popular things Star Trek has done. And Paramount bloody loved it because it cost almost nothing to make and got as good of views as anything in the live action series got. So they're just rubbing their hands together. They're like,
good enough where they brought them to a live action episode. Was it Discovery or Strange New Worlds or whatever it was? Yeah.
No, they did the Strange New Worlds crossover episode. They were lucky that they'd voiced actors that looked a bit like the cartoon characters. I don't know if they did that on purpose, but and obviously the main voice actor, the guy that played Boimler, has now become quite a big movie star, or becoming a movie star. But the point is they did that for the fans and it worked. But there are a lot of people that hate Lower Decks and will never watch it, and they just say, I'm not watching some stupid animated comic comedy series. I'm just not watching it. I never really give it a chance. And there will be people that will never give a new Stargate series a chance. They just won't watch it. But I think Lower Decks proves that there are enough people that will. And I think it's a really easy 30-minute episode or something. It's a really easy way for people that maybe have never discovered Stargate before to come into it. It's a really
especially with the larger cast. If you have a few different cast members, if they're 30-minute episodes, which realistically they're 25-minute episodes, especially if they're still going to syndication and going on like an actual channel like CBS or Paramount Network, whatever that is, you know, because it's still actually aired live on cable technically. I guess
this better be an amazing point you're trying to very slowly get into.
You know, I don't know exactly how I'm trying to phrase the question. The question confused me trying to ask it. Simply put, just to, I guess, because I didn't want to necessarily say the same thing a second time, but does that Clone Wars series sound like the better way to approach that? Just because that is, it's adult like, hey, it is for kids. It is for kids. But in the first episode of Star Wars: The Clone Wars, even though those first 2 seasons aren't as gritty as it gets, which it definitely turns into, and anybody can watch it, an adult type cartoon. There's, I mean, and it's not necessarily because somebody gets their hands chopped off and another person gets their head cut off. Someone gets beheaded in the first episode of Star Wars: Clone Wars. That doesn't necessarily.
Star Wars, isn't it?
Well, exactly. It happens all the time, and you can still have darker things happen within a younger vein of things. I don't necessarily think that it should be a younger vein, but maybe have it where it's. And I don't think Stargate itself is something that somebody 10, 12, 13 years old, if they're just watching Netflix after school or something, couldn't find and enjoy.
Could stick on YouTube as well.
Yeah.
Kids watch it if it was on YouTube.
Someone mentioned that earlier, and I think that's a good idea. I think it'd be a good idea to bridge the gap. Not necessarily. I don't think it's a good idea to make that like 2-quadrant or 4-quadrant show and be like, we're going to make it for everybody 25 or above or everybody 25 below, and then make it for all 4 of those sections. You know, I don't necessarily think that's the best approach. Make sure, like Star Wars: The Clone Wars is, George Lucas always said, Star Wars is for 12-year-old boys. That's what it would be, but it would be more like probably, yeah, I feel like Stargate's for young adults in a way. It feels like a show people watch in their 20s. And might be that again, you know,
and in their 30s as well,
and 40s.
Well, it just continued, you know. But y'all started it in your 20s or right beforehand, huh?
Yeah,
I was 13 when I started watching Stargate.
How old was I when it came out? I was a young adult when it came out. I can't think which year it came out now. What year did Stargate?
97, I believe.
97. So I'd have been 19.
The movie was 94, 97, yeah. And then SGA was like 2004.
Sounds right. Listen, guys, my brain is flushed out now. So are we ending, or can I just go?
Yeah. Let's call it. We've talked about what we have seen this week. Are you excited to see anything else coming out this week? I guess just a quick little end.
I want to see I'm going to say this very carefully. I want to see Superman at the cinema. But what does he mean?
I also want to see pictures of you going to see Superman at the cinema.
Why?
I just want to prove that you're going.
I'm definitely going. I will do a video of me walking in just for you, mate. All right, and I'll post it on our little web chat thing. Yes, I thoroughly say to people, you go watch Superman, but some people will hate it.
Is it because of the dog?
No, I think actually the dog's lovable.
Okay.
The rodent's lovely.
I like
the
the guy who plays Lex. I can't think of his name, but
Nicholas
I really
Hoult.
like him.
Yes.
Yes.
Hoult is brilliant as Lex Luthor.
I love Nicholas
Okay,
Hoult.
super fast, quick question. There is no such thing as like the movie star now. We've had this debate before. We talked about it again this last week around the household. Is Nicholas Hoult what would be titled an A-list movie star technically? There's not really a movie star like there was, or an A-list or whatever. But there are the people that you know their characters, and you just don't know the actor's name. I
don't think he's quite an A-lister yet.
He's not an A-lister, and it's like he's iconic, and he's been in a lot of things that people know him from, but he's not A-list.
I think he's getting there.
Okay.
I mean, doing things like Renfield was the movie that probably accelerated getting into sort of what we'd call an A-lister, because he was great in that. And that's probably the first film he did that he sort of like starred from when, as an adult. That's when he's like rocking up towards that. Before that, he only ever really was in the background sort of characters. I mean, thing like
he starred in Warm Bodies, but I still have never seen that. It's got a good little cult following, the zombie movie, but I think that's the only.
Warm Bodies. He was good in that. I like that. Yeah,
he was good, but yeah, it didn't really get people didn't really watch it. In X-Men, he was kind of in the background. In Mad Max, he had one of the best lines in it, but he was very much in the background. He was
Beast in X-Men, wasn't he? Yeah,
in the X-Men Origins, wasn't it? I think not Origins.
First Class.
They're all young. Anyway, but
yeah. Well, Superman week it is. We will reconvene next week, and hopefully you'll have seen it.
I'd have seen Superman
and had good things to say.
We will have good things to say.
I'll have to find a place to download it because I ain't going to go cinema.
Yeah, well, you will have negative things to say about it as well. He was very good in.
Did y'all ever see Tolkien?
No.
It was good.
Renfield, excellent. Renfield was really good.
Minu's also great, but he's not like the lead. That's Anya Taylor-Joy and Ray Fiennes.
Yeah,
but you know what I did earlier? I totally started this stream off by saying Stargate Outpost instead of Sci-Fi Sundays, didn't I?
I didn't care.
You did, yeah.
I didn't even know. We've mostly talked about Stargate though, so nobody noticed. Ixnay on this Stargate.
I wouldn't have noticed if you hadn't just brought it up, and neither would anyone else.
Yeah. I probably screwed myself by it. People notice. Surprise. But I think that's everything we got, huh?
Yeah, I've exhausted. I have given you everything I've got.
Thank you, sir.
I have emptied certain parts of me all over the internet.
Oh, is that what that was?
That makes sense. Those weren't crickets
it's in your beard,
background.
mate. Oh, it's in my beard. Oh God.
Well, we love y'all. We appreciate y'all. We will see y'all throughout this week. We've got Stargate Outpost, speaking of it, back. We wanted to do Radical Wasteland this Friday, but Greg, as he was finally done with the Fringe Festival, had to. His one of the theaters that he runs that is very big had its whole place boarded up, bought out kind of deal. So they had to go move theaters this past weekend. So this Friday, we'll have more Radical Wasteland podcast for y'all. But thank y'all for hanging. It's been a fun time. Hopefully, Stargate will be here soon.
Yeah, I wouldn't hold your breath.
We've said that for so many years.
No, mate, we've come so close so many times now. Even I've given up.
I'm just gonna
love y'all. Appreciate y'all.
Bye.
See y'all soon.
Bye. My lights just went died.
Love you.